So I was scrolling through Twitter today, as a lot of people do, and I'm going through weather Twitter and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling because there's a lot of posts, surprisingly. And I saw this from the Weather Channel and the National Hurricane Center. We have our first tropical wave of the season, which is really exciting because this is right on time. Now, this doesn't mean that we're going to be seeing a tropical storm from this. This has a very low chance of actually developing. But it does show that there's tropical development starting up in the main development region. This is right off the coast of Africa. And it's actually pretty far south. And we're pretty much just north of the equator. And this tropical wave has traveled across Africa and actually come out on the other side. And seeing that we're only a few weeks away from the official start of hurricane season, which is June 1st, this is kind of that ramping up phase that we rarely talk about, because usually around this time we have a lot of severe threats and maybe even a tropical storm or so that forms, subtropical region up near, the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. Usually we get a subtropical storm. That's usually our A storm, but I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think that we're going to see, for the first time in I don't even know how many years, a hurricane season that actually starts after or on the June 1st official start. We've been seeing over the past 5 years, storms form before that June 1st start. And that's why the National Hurricane Center now issues those advisories starting May 15th now for the Atlantic, as well as the official start to the hurricane season in the Pacific, which we've already seen a couple of tropical waves there, but none have any significance at all. Now, I'm very excited for hurricane season this year. I think it's going to be a fun one to just try and track. Now, at the moment, it seems like we're going to be having a above average but not hyperactive season at the moment. But of course, projections can be wrong, and we looked at Colorado State. We looked at the El Nino La Nina situation, which still is slight La Nina, but is trending more toward neutral. And I think that with that all being said, I think that the beginning of the hurricane season will probably be fairly slow. And as we start to move into that neutral stance and, the Pacific still remains fairly cool, we will see more tropical development in the Atlantic, I think primarily in that main development region, which could lead to a 2017 type situation, but I honestly doubt it. But we did see a lot of storms coming out of the main development region in 2017 and 2020, in fact. But I think it'll mix things up this year too. We'll definitely have a couple storms form off the coast of Florida and off the coast of Texas and the Gulf. But right now, it looks like the main development region could be the epicenter of all the storms this year, as it usually is. So here is the National Hurricane Center's Tropical Analysis and Forecast branch. And they have a satellite Havmöller diagram. I hope I said that right. But it kind of tracks this wave here as it's moved across Africa from May 4th to May 8th. So you can see in this first picture here, can I zoom in? I think I can. There we go. So it starts off here by Ethiopia as just a cluster of thunderstorms, and you can see that there's other clusters of thunderstorms all across the arid regions, but kind of the Sahel of Africa. And you can see that there's one here that kind of becomes concentrated but ends up falling apart. But you have this one, still a cluster of thunderstorms here. This is now probably halfway through the day on May 4th. You can see still a cluster of thunderstorms now moving through Sudan and South Sudan. later in the day. Now moving into the Central African Republic, you have that other wave here starting to die off. You can see that there's a bunch of thunderstorm development, but really not concentrated at all. Now we're into May 5th. We're seeing this roll through Chad and Cambodia and Central African Republic. The other wave has completely died off. Then on the 6th, you can see that it kind of dies off a little bit. You can see that the thunderstorms kind of wind down a little bit. But now into the 7th and the 8th, we kind of see a reform here in Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Sierra Leone, Liberia, even parts of Cote d'Ivoire. And now we are seeing it off the coast. So the satellite Havmaler of the first tropical wave analyzed this season moving across Africa, which is that solid red line that we've been tracking this entire time. And if you want to know what these diagrams kind of do, it's pretty self-explanatory. The National Hurricane Center Tropical Analysis and Forecast Branch uses several tools to track tropical waves. One is the satellite Havmaler diagram, which shows features of tropical waves as they move across Africa and into the U.S. You can see here that they track multiple storms at once with these red lines, and time moves on as you continue to go down. So this is one of their more helpful tools that they use to forecast hurricanes, which is really cool. But Havmalers can depict several observational points of data, such as satellite imagery or meteorological variables from model output like relative vorticity. So I believe that they probably show these, they use this data, put it into the models, makes our models more accurate, which, you know, I am all for, but, you know, I'm starting to geek out over this, I'm sorry. But you can see here on satellite imagery, this is the infrared satellite, that tropical wave, you can see some thunderstorms in there, and you can see where it is on the map, right around the 14-degree west parallel. You can see tropical wave, and you can see it's pretty far south. It's right above that 5 degrees north line, and the equator is right here. So we're seeing that pretty far south. I think the best comparison for how south this is, I think Tropical Storm Don in 2017 was right along like where Trinidad and Tobago is, right near Venezuela. And, you know, it really caught me off guard. I was like, really? Do Atlantic tropical cyclones really form that far south? But we have a tropical wave here that's on the same lines as, you know, Guyana, parts of Venezuela, Colombia, which is crazy to think about. But good sign for the start of hurricane season, starting to bring us, you know, closer and closer to June at this point. But temperatures across the U.S. are warming up, and we're starting to see the summer weather come into play. Tropical storms, warm weather, severe thunderstorms, isolated thunderstorms in some spots. It's really coming along. It's crazy. Spring's almost over. Meteorological spring ends at the end of this month. So that's crazy to think about. This year's already flying by. But that is all I have for today. If you found this video informative, or if you're excited for hurricane season, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any tropical updates. I will be posting, you know, I should get alerts via Twitter whenever a tropical storm forms. I will be making videos on them, making updates, especially those tropical storms that will be making landfall. So stay tuned here as we continue to approach hurricane season, and I'm getting ready for it. Hope you all are too. You know, if you live in a tropical cyclone prone area, make sure you have a plan in place. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. But that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.